Hello everyone! Today in English we will focus on subjects of sentences. Last week we learned about sentence parts. What are the two main parts of a sentence? The subject part and the predicate part. The subject part tells who or what the sentence is about, and the predicate part tells what the subject does or is. So in this sentence, the teacher reads Bible stories. The teacher is the subject part because the sentence is about the teacher, and reads Bible stories is the predicate part because that's what the subject, the teacher, is doing. In the second sentence, the Bible is the Word of God. The Bible is the subject part because the sentence is about the Bible, and is the Word of God is the predicate part because it's telling us that the subject, the Bible, is the Word of God. We also learned that the main word in the predicate part is a verb, and that the verb can be action verb or a linking verb. Then what's the main word in the predicate part in this first sentence? The main word is the verb, so it is the verb reads. Is reads action verb or linking verb? It is action verb because it's telling us what the subject is doing. Then what's the main word in the predicate part in the second sentence? The main word is the verb is. Is that an action verb or linking verb? It is linking verb because it's telling us what the subject is. But today we're going to focus on the subject part of the sentence. Then what can we see in the subject part? Well, we can see the subject in the subject part. And the subject is the main word or words in the subject part. And a noun or a pronoun can be the subject. For example, here we have the sentence, the brown bear eats honey. What's the subject part of the sentence? The brown bear. Then the predicate part is eats honey. Then what is the subject in the subject part of the sentence? Remember, the subject is the main word or words in the subject part. So in the subject part, the brown bear, the words the and brown are adjectives. The word the is actually called an article, which works like an adjective, and the word brown answers the question, what kind of bear? That means the subject is bear. The word the and brown are adjectives, so the word bear is the subject of this subject part. So you want to be careful not to confuse the subject with the subject part. Then what about in the sentence, Angela Halls baked pies? What's the subject part in this sentence? The subject part is Angela Halls. That means the predicate part is baked pies. Then what is the subject in this subject part of the sentence? The subject is the main word or words in the subject part. Then in the sentence, it is Angela Halls. Both the words Angela and Halls are the subject because Angela Halls is a full name of a girl. Then what about the sentence, I play games? What's the subject part? The subject part is I, and it's also the subject itself. Then the predicate part is play games. The word I is actually a type of a pronoun. We learned that pronouns are words that can replace nouns. And there are many other subject pronouns such as you, he, she, it, we, and they. They are all pronouns that can be a subject. So the sentences can be you play games, he plays games, she plays games, it plays games, we play games, they play games. Let's go to our work text, page 283. Pages 283 through 284 is going to be about subjects. So the subject is the main word or words in the subject part. A noun or a pronoun can be the subject. And remember, the subject is not exactly the same thing as the subject part. The subject is the main word or words in the subject part. So let's look at the examples. Carabelle loves teddy bears. The subject part in this sentence is Carabelle. Then what is the subject in this subject part of the sentence? The subject is Carabelle. Both the words Cara and Belle is the subject because it is the full name of a girl. What about the second sentence? The brown bear wears a vest. The subject part is the brown bear. Then what is the subject of this subject part? The words the and brown are adjectives. Remember, the word the is an article, which is a type of an adjective, and the word brown answers the question, what kind? So that means the subject is bear. Then we have the third sentence, he wears a vest. What's the subject? The subject and the subject part is the word he. He is the only word that represents subject and the subject part. And note that the word he is a pronoun. So a noun or a pronoun can be the subject. Let's go over numbers 1 through 4. Circle the verb. Draw a line between the subject part and the predicate part. Underline the subject. So you're going to circle the verb, underline the subject, and you're going to draw a vertical line in between the subject part and the predicate part. Number 1, God gives us homes. What is the verb in this sentence? The verb is gives, and this is an action verb. That means we need to split between the word God and the verb gives because God is the subject part and the predicate part is gives us homes. Then what is the subject in this subject part? Well, we only have one word, God. So God is the subject. Number 2, a bird builds a nest. What is the verb in this sentence? The verb is builds. Builds is an action verb. Then where can we draw the line to split between the subject part and the predicate part? We can split between the word bird and builds. Then what is the subject in the subject part, a bird? The word a, or letter A, is an article. So that means the subject is bird. So a bird or a bird is the subject part, but the word bird is the subject of this subject part. Number 3, a brown bear sleeps in a den. What's the verb in this sentence? The verb is sleeps. Then where do we draw the line to split between the subject part and the predicate part? We draw the line in between the word bear and the word sleeps. Then what is the subject in the subject part of brown bear? The words a and brown are adjectives. The word a is an article, which works like an adjective, and the word brown answers what kind of bear. So that means the subject is bear. Number 4, it eats honey. What is the verb in this sentence? The verb is eats. That means we draw the line in between the words it and eats. Then what is the subject in this sentence? Well, we only have one word that represents the subject part as well as the subject. It. Numbers 5 through 7, you're going to complete the sentence with the subject from the word bank. Let's try these together. Number 5, some blank are wooden. Which word from the word bank fits best in this sentence? Well, we have the word some as well as the word are. That means there are more than one. So it cannot be Dr. Lee because Dr. Lee is only one person. That means it has to be homes or we. Some homes are wooden. That makes sense. Number 6, blank lives in a brick house. The verb here has an S at the end. That means one subject is doing the action. So that means our answer is Dr. Lee. Dr. Lee lives in a brick house. That makes sense. Then number 7 must be we. We thank God for our houses. And that also makes sense. The word we matches with the word our. Number 8. You're going to write a sentence using the word house as your subject. So remember, subject is not exactly the same thing as the subject part. It is actually the main word in the subject part. So the word house is going to be your subject. That means you can add other adjectives, maybe the color of the house or maybe the size of the house, and write a sentence about it. So my sentence could be, blue house is as tall as a mountain. So my subject house has the adjective blue and the article the. The blue house is as tall as a mountain. So you can also write a sentence using the word house for number 8. The back page is very much like the front page. And for numbers 16 through 18, you're going to circle the verb that completes the sentence. And you can use this chart to help you find the correct verb. So you can check if the sentence has a singular or a plural subject. And remember, if it's a singular subject, then you have to use has come, has gone, or has seen. If it's a plural subject, you have to use have come, have gone, and have seen. But the words came, went, and saw, they are on their own. They do not get these helping verbs has or have. Once you're done with this, you're going to print out English Chapter 13, Part 2, which is in your email. And English Chapter 13, Part 2, you're going to complete pages 285 through 286, which is going to be a practice of what we've been learning in Chapter 13 so far. Well, that's it for today. Bye, everyone.